This is the getting started video for homework number 10. So homework number 10, basically you're going to write a program that's going to prompt the user to enter a size from 1 to 100,000, and then you are going to allocate an array of integers of that size using the malloc function. Then you're going to initialize the allocated memory to 0. Now don't use calloc, you got to use malloc. Then you're going to populate the array with values read from the user. Use scanf. You're going to print out the values to make sure it looks pretty. So for example, location 1 equals 5, location 2 equals 10, and so on. Then you're going to find and print the maximum value in the array. Then you're going to find and print the minimum value in the array. And then you are going to calculate and print the array total, then the array average, and then finally the standard deviation. Now you can find the standard deviation formula on the internet. For example, I recommend Wikipedia. Now make sure you put the formula in the procedure comments and make sure it's easy to match the steps in the code to the formula in the comments. Now after you get all that working, you are going to have one really long main procedure. So it's probably going to be a good 3, maybe 4 pages. The next step is you are going to then procedurize the above code. Now please don't have a crash up derby. What I mean by that is a lot of students write a whole bunch of procedures for everything and then compile and run it. What you want to do is after you've got it after you've got step 1 done, you want to make one piece at a time a procedure, compile it and run it. That way you have a lot of little fender benders and it's very easy to debug. So here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's Visual Studio and I've got my long main function, and this just goes up to the calculate total part. Alright, so I get all that typed in, and as I write each piece, I want to run and test it. Alright, now probably one of the things you're going to have to do is right after you allocate memory, the second thing you want to do is free it. Alright, so you kind of skip to this last section. So you allocate it and then free it, run that and test it, and then you'll do the initialize, and you'd go ahead and you'd run that, get that working. Then you would do the populate and you'd run that and get that working, and then you would print it and get that working, and then finally you do the calculate total. And so if we go ahead and run that, do an array size 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, and produces some crazy values. Why? Because we got that less than or equals in there. Go ahead and run that again. 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. We're quite happy, the total. And so then the next step is to start procedurizing these one hunk of code at a time. So I'll start with this part where we make the array. So let's say make array, and into that I want to pass PA_int values and int array size. Now I plan on changing both of those in the make array procedure because I'm going to read the size from the user and I'm going to assign a value to my pointer. So I want to pass those. I need to simulate pass by reference, so I pass the address of those in there. So then I'm going to copy this hunk of code and come down here and void make array. Now this is going to be an integer pointer, so PPA_int values, and this is going to be an integer pointer. And I'm going to store the value I read in at pint array size. So we've got to change my pointer to that. Remember, that's a pointer. And then I want to save my value returned from pint array size. Now I have to dereference my pointer to get the actual array size, so that's a little confusing with asterisk asterisk. Alright, and then when I save that, I want to save it at the contents at. Oh, boy, that really makes your head spin. But hey, that's good. Not many people can read that or understand it, and so if you can, that makes you rare and valuable. So all I did was that one little piece. Now I go ahead and run it, and it should still work. There should be absolutely no change. Awesome. Pretty cool. I'll do one more for you. We'll have initialize array. Now for this, I can pass in my pointers normally, and I can pass in my array size normally. Why? Because I'm not going to change them. So I can go ahead and pass those by value. So I'll copy this code and go ahead and delete it out of there. Now I'm not doing the comment blocks. I'll leave that for you. That's a excellent operation for the student. And so we've got int pointer, and we've got our int, and we need int index. There we go. That's all there is to it. So we copy that, go tell our compiler what to expect, and we replace that, so we should be able to go ahead and run it. 4, so we get 2, 4, 6, 8, and it still works correctly. That's exactly what it was supposed to do. So that's what you have to do for the homework. After you get that done, make sure it's all procedurized. I need only the procedurized version. I don't need the individual steps. That's just to make sure that you get the code working without the necessary complexity of procedures, and then that you can go ahead and turn non-procedurized code into procedurized code. Now if you want to have fun, you can sort using the bubble sort or the qsort function from the standard template library to earn you some extra credit. And that is the end of Getting Started video for homework number 10. I hope you have fun.